Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to yet another installment of Elephant Exposed. I am your host, Mr. CJ Jones, aka Mr. TNTBS. And I do have the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Duane Stinson, my co-host. Welcome, my brother. Welcome back.
What up? What up? Happy New Year, my brother.
Happy New Year, my brother. And so what we're gonna be doing, guys, this is what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna be doing a reaction, a response, and you're gonna hear some commentation back and forth with me and my co-host about this thing that happened at the beginning of of this week. We're both football fans, we're both sports fans, and I will be addressing an elephant in this particular room. So we're gonna be doing this thing a little different. I'm gonna be sharing my screen, so hopefully you guys can see what we see, and let's go ahead and just take it from there. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and do this share screen thing real quick, and let's see if we can get this thing properly started. Um, Let me know when you see what I see, okay?
All right.
All right. All right. So we're gonna do this. Are you able to see anything right now?
Uh-uh.
Okay, how about this?
Okay, now I see it.
Okay. So we gotta do an expansion. And then we're gonna bring us somewhere in the middle here. Okay. That look good for us?
Oh yeah. So I can see the whole screen.
All right. Let me know if you hear it.
Undisputed.
You heard that?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do it, baby. Here we go.
I'm Jen Hale. That is Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Guys, Shannon, I understand. It's something you want to share this morning.
Good morning. Yeah. Morning. There's been a lot of speculation on why I wasn't on air yesterday, and I won't get into speculation of conjecture, innuendo, but I will say this. Watching that game on Monday night, what happened to DeMar Hamlin struck me a little different. As a brotherhood in the NFL, when injuries happen, when we know injuries are part of the game, I've seen guys suffer ACLs and Achilles tear, but I've never seen anybody have to be revived and fight for their life on the field. So they struck me a little differently because I remember seeing my brother paralyzed on the field temporarily, and he was able to regain focus. Skip tweeted something, and although I disagree with the tweet, and hopefully Skip will take it down, but I didn't want it.
Well, time out. I'm not going to take it down because I stand by what I tweeted.
Skip, let me.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
Go ahead. Let's go again.
Okay.
I mean, I cannot even get through a monologue without you interrupting.
Okay.
You could have came back. Skip,
Well, I thought.
Skip, just let. I
you know you were going to bring up.
No, I was just going to say, Skip. I didn't want to yesterday to get into a situation where DeMar Hamlin was the issue. We should be talking about him and not get into your tweet. That's what I was going to do. But you can't even let me finish my opening monologue without you interrupting.
Okay. I was under the impression you weren't going to bring this up because nobody here had a problem with that tweet.
No.
Yeah, right.
You don't offer explanation so clearly.
No, they did not.
Let's go, Dan.
Thoughts and prayers remain with DeMar Hamlin.
That's what the folks should have been, and not the folks.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the share. And let's bring it back to us. So I'm going to go ahead and change the view. Now it's just should be just you and I. Now, with all of that taking place, first of all, I want to say I appreciate different points of views. That's the whole point of our show, is to not only respect, sometimes embody, or expose different injustices corruption, talk about the elephant in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And before we decided to start this show, you brought up a beautiful point of view. I would like to put on the show, and I believe, and let me know if I misquoted you or whatnot, but I believe that you said that even in the aftermath
Mm-hmm.
of what displayed, because everybody knows, first of all, that Skip Bayless got the 5th degree off of what he said about just being insensitive.
Mm-hmm.
And then you and I in conversation, well, just having a back and forth about, what angle to take this at, because there's a lot to take from this particular argument. And let's
Right.
and let's catch everybody up to speed. This is not a first time argument. This is not a one-off.
Mm-hmm.
Bayless is known. He is
Right.
come out of the box
Mm-hmm.
and come out of left field. First of all, he was ready to argue. He was ready to fight. He was ready to stand his ground.
Mm-hmm.
All of that. And it wasn't even about him responding just yet in that moment. That was the wrong time.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that he didn't have a right to speak up for himself about all the verbal bashings that he has received, that he is well worth receiving, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
His verbal chastisements, because number one, let's clear this air too. Let's clear this elephant. Skip Bayless will never be fired. That's his show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
He can be sanctioned. He can be, like I said, verbally chastised. Now, you should have never did that before. But ain't nobody gonna pull his show. You ain't gonna get him canceled or nothing like that. So as angry as we would like to be and everything, trying to pull left or right and make it this versus that. First of all, let's think about the name of the show. The name of the show is called Undisputed. And what happens in dispute is the two opposing points of views. They're not going to agree. Now, on my show, my co-host happens to agree with me on a lot of topics. But even then, even though he agrees, he still has a different point of view.
Right.
But Skip and Shannon, the whole reason behind the success of their show is that they do oppose one another.
Right.
And so I saw it as Skip Bayless said the quiet part out loud, because in my opinion, that's what big NFL was thinking. What do I mean by big NFL? The true money makers, the commissioner, the board, people like that, the people that actually has established this. You best believe they were thinking, replace him. Let's move on. Let's make this money. Get that team back out in the field. Let's focus. But then they go, oops.
Right.
Because even the commentators was trying their best not to say on live TV what Skip Bayless was tweeting. Because mind you, there was a moment. It was a quick moment, but it was a moment to where they did announce on the field, hey, give the players about 5 or 10 minutes to recollect themselves and we can get this thing going again. But not real. But again, all that was about the 9:30 mark. And that was the time that Skip Bayless expressed himself. And so just like anybody else, it was our job to expose it. Hey, you wrong for that.
Right.
And so what I think from the social point of view, from the viewership point of view, Skip Bayless displayed a lack of decorum.
Good way. Good point. Good point.
But go
Because
ahead
like
and
you
take it
said,
away, my brother, because
and
I
that's,
know you get some beautiful viewpoints off camera.
well, like you said, I like the way you almost like you almost came across as you could be Skip's defense attorney just now. And you know what I'm saying? Because you did, even though I know, because because you know what I'm saying, but you humanized him right then. You did. And that's what I like about it. Like you said, that's what I like about the show. We're not just like we were talking off camera. We're not gonna just talk about emotional. We're gonna come with the facts. And the facts is it is a sector of America that was looking at that like, man, we done seen this a million times. Let's get on with the game. You know, that was a Sunday night game, right? Sunday
Monday.
night game.
Monday.
Monday night game. So that's the only football on.
Yep.
So, you know, before people knew what the severity of the situation was, it was some people that was probably like, man, come on, man. Like, what, he got a broken leg? What he got? He got a concussion. Let's put him in the blue tent and
He
let's
got the
get on
wind
with it.
knocked out of him. I mean, I saw the helmet hit his throat.
Right.
Like,
oh, and then you know, a lot of people probably was like, it wasn't even a hard hit. You could because I remember when you called me, I wasn't even watching the game. When I went and Googled it, I was trying to understand, but I already knew that it was pretty bad from the just the sound of your voice and the way you were talking. So it's almost like Skip, he jumped the gun. It's almost like he wanted to be the first one to say it. Man, let's just get on with the game. No, brother. See, when you looked in the faces of those players, and you saw the tears, because players been playing since they was little. They done seen people break legs. They done seen people have career-ending injuries. But you never seen the types of look. I'm talking about people just praying, like not just like said a little prayer and got up. People crying, grown men.
right.
And like we said before, you know what they saw, and another thing just came to my mind because I heard a report saying that it was blood coming out of his mouth, blood coming out of his nose. They had to cut his shoulder pads off. When we're talking about cutting shoulder pads off, if you just say that, you don't understand. Shoulder pads, we both played the game. Shoulder pads, you had to cut through shoulder pads. What did they use to cut through some shoulder pads, man? You know what I'm saying? Right.
A pair of scissors that look like these, and it cuts straight through the material, the plastic, everything. But listen, check this out. And like I said, and you did bring up a good point. And just to bring our audience back to view, I will talk a little bit about my pedigree. I am a first, or I was, in my mind, I still am. I was a first responder. As a military police officer, you have to be, and you have to stay certified. If not about the same as civilians, probably a little bit more because of the nature of our job. We have to always be refreshed. We have to always be reminded. We're constantly being trained from infant to adult. So with all that being said, all of this struck many, many nerves with me. It brought me back to many, many times that I actually performed CPR, and even on my own child. So it really hit. And so when I called you, I called you just out of just knee-jerk reaction moment and stuff, because I'm trying to process this. I'm sharing it with my wife and everything. And I was like, baby, how long they been working on him? How many commercials have we seen? I started calculating time, because that's what first responders do. When we realize that we're not getting a response, when we realize we're not getting a heartbeat, we realize that that individual is not breathing, we have to do the breathing and the heartbeat for you. And it is exhausting. It is exhausting. So you have to be relieved at the same time. You have to switch out and different things like that. And like you said before, off camera, it ain't pretty. It is not pretty. It's not pretty for Mr. Damar Hamlin. It wasn't pretty for the EMTs. And what they did is that the players themselves had to build that human wall and try to keep a lot of that off camera, because number one, not even from a HIPAA point of view, but from a humanity point of view, that's not something that you want to see.
Right.
That's not something you want to see.
Right.
So let's take it back to the elephant in the room. Decorum. Skip said the business part out loud. And he exposed the true nature of the NFL entertainment business. It's entertainment. Entertainment is not life and death.
Right.
That's the elephant. That's the lack of decorum. That's the lack of class.
Right. Because
and
when
he should have been. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, if you want to look at it black and white and look at it strictly from a revenue point of view, you can say, because like you said, for a lot of the owners and people that's talking about bottom line, you could say this. Okay, maybe one or two of those teams might not make the playoffs.
Right.
That was a big game. I think they said that was a big game as far as playoff picture. So people that's worried about their bottom line is like, hey, I need this win. Okay, you stopping the momentum of the game. Let's keep it going, because I think I heard that Cincinnati was about to score and all this and that. But when you look at the I don't even think from what those players saw, I don't even think those players could have got their mind right to finish that game. You understand?
Yeah,
that's just like me and you doing the same job. Say, for instance, we both janitors or something. And I see you get hurt doing something that I'm gonna be doing for the rest of the night. I see you almost lose your life for maybe taking out some trash or something, or picking up something. So you want me to do that for another 2.5 hours.
No,
and
sir.
I just saw blood. I just saw a very violent looking CPR. I seen them have to actually disrobe this guy. I seen his lifeless body. I'm not talking about him responding at all.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? I just felt like that was the humanitarian thing to do, to say, hey, look, yeah, we can. I think he's a special team player. I don't even think he starts. We could have plugged somebody else in there and kept playing. But hey, let's have some empathy. Let's have, like you said, some decorum. Let's act like human beings for a minute and say, look, let's take the opportunity to make the NFL not look so. The NFL in the past few years has had a bad rap,
like a heartless machine.
Right. So let's
take this. It does have a bad rap, and especially concerning our black athletes. Exactly. And basically making it look like this is elephant exposed, baby. We gonna do this. Basically, that it was like the days of Gladium. If you ever watched Gladiator, if you ever watch movies like Rome and different things like that, that's how slaves got their freedom, if they could, because it was either you tried to attempt it and you died, and that was the whole point anyway, and you were entertaining to the crowd. And so that's what, in a sense, modern day football is, but without the certainty of death. And so, like I said, too soon.
Way too soon.
And so let's look at the aftermath. So, like you said, Skip did what I like to call a damage control video the following day. You said I like your perspective. Please go ahead and share that with our viewers.
It just looked like he was trying to manufacture tears. It looked like he was, you know what I'm saying? It was not genuine at all, because honestly, that's not what we see from Skip Bayless. We don't see nobody that's a caring, emotional type of guy. We used to seeing him argue. We used to seeing him trying to get his point across, him beating the table, the veins popping out. So when he tried to slow it down and let me, and I hope people, and the crazy part was he tried to say that upper management didn't have a problem with his tweet. The next day, he's the one who brought it up, that he got a call or a text saying, hey, a lot of people are upset with your tweet. And so when Shannon came back on Tuesday, and another thing we need to touch on, Shannon actually played the game. That's just like if you hear about a soldier getting killed, if you hear about a soldier falling out in the doing PT or doing boot camp, right?
Yes.
You can relate to that more than I can.
Yes, I can.
Of course, I'm gonna say, man, that's messed up. That's messed up. Shannon said, and you can hear it in his voice. He was saying how the brotherhood was. He said Shannon played the game back in the 90s and 80s, maybe 90s at least. So he played he had a nice career, right? Yes. And he's also said he never seen nothing like that. So we talking about even before he played professional. So you talking about a span of about 30, 40 years, he never seen nothing like that. And so he was bringing us into the world of the athlete, how they looked at that. How he was like, that was my brother right there. And for me to see something like that, I didn't want to come in here and debate with Skip about the tweet that he made, because that's what was going to happen. They was going to get into it.
Exactly. And they was going to lose focus on where it should have been on. And that is like how their hostess says that our thoughts and prayers are still with the Hamlin family. And that's what it should have been. And again, Bayless did not even get the context clue then. This is how sometimes disconnected we are as human beings. We're so focused on, everybody's after me. I'm coming out the gate. I'm swinging. I'm defending, and it ain't nothing to defend, person.
Right.
It ain't nothing to defend.
Right.
It wasn't even really nothing wrong with what you said. It was just said too soon. And you should have. What he should have done is done what his fellow anchors of other platforms did, and that is sit back, read the room. Read the room.
Exactly. Because if you read the
nobody else is saying this, so maybe I shouldn't either.
Right. If
then come back.
I'm saying if the network,
and then come back and read and say, okay, so like, now can we get back to or how are we going to get back to business? And this was a big game, blah blah blah. Okay, but like we're all saying, don't nobody even care.
Right.
Nobody that has a heart. Nobody that has humanity forefront of their lives. They are the ones that this don't even matter, bro, because it is entertainment. That's what this is.
Right. And I'm gonna tell you, when he interrupted Shannon within not even the first 2 minutes of him trying to explain himself, to me that came off
1 minute and 10 seconds, bro.
Right. That came off as a guilty person, because I'm gonna tell you, I've been in past relationships where somebody did something wrong, or and even us as grown men turn the spotlight on ourselves, or sometimes what they say, a hit dog holler. You remember that?
Hit dog holler.
You know what I'm saying? Holler. So you can't even let this man explain. He said something about your tweet, and before he finished the sentence, you got to interject. Oh, I'm not taking the tweet, and I meant what I said. So he didn't
even ask him. He said, hopefully. And see, again, context clues were all in it. First of all, even how he even began.
Exactly.
Monologue. That was a context clue, bro. This is not going to be this show.
Right.
However, I do need to address the audience because they were expecting for me to be here. This is why I wasn't here. It's because I was shook. I was disturbed. I was distraught. I was processing because I took this personal. Why? Because like you described with me, and I have, and I don't remember if I even shared it with you. I have lost 2 juniors. One of a enlarged heart. Didn't know it. And to this day, me and my other fellow veterans of the same detachment, it's still kind of difficult for us to even process it. And he was on liberty. And he just fell right where he was.
Wow.
And they could, and all that training, all those years of training, all those hours of training could not bring my young brother back. Anyway, okay. Whew. And that was years ago.
Yeah. And so
I couldn't bring my son back.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing, like you said, for you to understand it and then you show empathy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's another thing for you to actually live it, be a part of it, have experienced it. That's on a whole nother level.
Right. And that's the perspective that Shannon was coming from.
Correct.
You know, and like you said, he could have came in the next day and was all rah-rah, and Skip, he could have been immediately going down Skip. He was trying to keep the peace. He was trying to, the way he was wording it, everything. Yeah, he was like, you know, I hope he even gave Skip the opportunity to endear to his fans that maybe he had pissed off the day before. He said, I hope my brother would take it down. No, I'm not taking it down. Dude, I'm giving you a layup. I'm giving you an alley-oop. All you got to do is put it in the hoop, brother. And you decide to rebound it.
I'm gonna stand my ground.
Yeah.
And so this is the part I wanted to get in our show before we wrap this up. If you ever wanted to see a literal depiction as to even the mirror perspective of how we look in society to other people, this is also how Democrats look battling it out with Republicans.
It is. That's a great example. Because you got something, you got a complete, you got something that's so obvious, right? But you got two different sides who see it totally different ways. You know, you see when you talk about the insurrection, when you talk about police brutality, when you talk about unarmed shootings, all of that, it's what society does. Oh, I'm sure it's people that's rocking with Skip just because he's Skip Bayless, and it's people that's rocking with Shannon just because he's Shannon. Not even then you put in the racial epithet, the racial undertone. He black, he white. Okay, when what we should be doing is coming together and making an educated and an emotion, being humans. You know what I'm saying?
January 6th.
Right.
January 6th. The insurrection.
Right.
Shannon Sharpe, Skip Bayless. This is how it looks. But like you said, that was another observation as to how now they have appeared to have gotten over it, moved on, or just let the train roll. And that's the way that our Congress should be working. That's the way our Senate should be working. That's the way you are in those positions to argue. You are in those positions to, state your claim. And you can even agree to disagree. But the rest of the society is steadily trying to pick a side. And it led up to January 6th.
Right.
Because of that whole, if you keep on pushing a lie, it will eventually become someone's reality. And people will respond to what they perceive or what they think is real.
When I think about politics now, I think of the two biggest gangs in the world.
Oh, yes, sir. Definitely.
When I think about Democrats and Republicans, when I think about the Congress and the Senate, even when like now, I think it's a problem where the Republicans can't pick a speaker or something like that. And they
yeah, it's funny. Now that part
it's like and then when they show them on camera, it's like they have no intention of doing what's best for the people.
No.
It's about nah. I don't like that. No. When did we get to this point? Well, some people might argue that I'm not going to even do that. But when you say "Make America Great Again," we've made ups and downs. We've had ups and downs, but at this point, why why keep on being more about it's mine, it's mine, it's my, you know, why we can't look at it as a whole? What's best for America? What's best for the black man, the white man, the Hispanic man, the Asian man, you know?
Because I can't feel good. Because I can't feel good unless I know that I'm in total and absolutely complete control. And because I was the one that took the power, I want to remain in power and I'm not going to give it up. So you're going to have to take it. So with that being said, we are coming to an end of our very first show of a brand new year. I would like to thank our viewers once again and thank y'all so much. Our subscribers are growing.
Yes.
I wanted to share that with my brother. Our subscribers are growing and we're asking our subscribers to continue to support us. I thank you so much. I will call you by name if I had all y'all information. And I appreciate your support and viewership. I appreciate your comments and your suggestions. Please keep them coming in. If you want for us to talk about it, that's what Elephant Exposed will do. And any last words that you have for our people, sirs?
Brother, this subject was like an onion. It's got so many layers, my brother.
So many.
I mean, we haven't even scratched the surface on this layer. Maybe we'll do a part 2. Hey, you guys let us know if you want to see part 2, because it's so many different avenues and so many different ways you can compare this to other things. And but y'all be blessed, man. All right, my brother.
Okay, so with that, guys, we'll catch y'all next week and we will keep this thing rolling. Y'all be good now.
Peace.